hit that subscribe button and the bell icon beside it to check out our latest videos before anyone else. Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech and these are the best features and some important tips and tricks for your Honor 7C. First, I'll be talking about the best features, then I'll be covering the tips and tricks section. So if you're bored anywhere, just skip ahead. But make sure you check out the tips and tricks section. Now with that said, the most noticeable feature about this phone is definitely its display. This phone packs a massive 5.7-inch display with HD Plus resolution in the new 18:9 aspect ratio. So the bezels are considerably smaller at the top and bottom, just like the recent Redmi 5, Redmi Note 5 and the Honor 9 Lite. I wish the display resolution was Full HD Plus, but even this display is pretty good for regular usage like watching videos, browsing or regular social media apps. Now the next best feature about this phone is definitely its selfies. This phone comes with a single 8-megapixel front-facing camera with f2.0 aperture, and it does take some pretty good selfies, at least better than the Redmi 5 and the Redmi Note 5. These are some sample shots. Next, this phone has portrait mode for the rear camera. Now this phone comes with a dual camera setup with a 13-megapixel primary camera and a 2-megapixel secondary camera for depth sensing, and it does take some pretty good portrait shots. Here are some sample shots. Now the next best feature about this phone would be the dedicated SD card slot. Most of the phones in this price segment come with a hybrid SIM slot, just like the Honor 9 Lite and the Honor 7X. But this phone comes with a dedicated SD card slot, so if you want to use two SIMs and SD card all at once, this is a great advantage. Now the next best feature on this phone is Face Unlock. Now just like all the phones these days, even this phone comes with Face Unlock feature and it does work quite well. Setting it up is quite easy, and once you set it up, in good lighting conditions, it's reasonably fast. It takes like a second, but it is manageable. Even in low lighting conditions, it works, but it is kinda slow. On the whole, it's a nice feature to show off, but I'll suggest you to use the fingerprint scanner instead. Next, it has a very unique feature called Wi-Fi Bridge, which is something we rarely see. This feature allows you to share your existing Wi-Fi connection to multiple devices. Your phone can act like a hotspot using the current Wi-Fi connection. Yes, it doesn't make sense and you might never need it. But this is actually a super useful feature if you travel a lot and visit places with limited Wi-Fi access like hotels, airports and public Wi-Fi spots. Next, we have a lot of fingerprint gestures in security settings under fingerprint ID. First, we can take pictures with the fingerprint scanner. Once you enable this toggle, you can take pictures using the fingerprint scanner on the stock camera application. Unlike other phones, you need to touch and hold the fingerprint scanner to take the picture. It is very handy while taking selfies. Next, we can bring down the notification bar using a gesture. Once you enable this toggle, we can do a swipe down gesture on the fingerprint scanner to bring down the notification bar. We can swipe it up again to send back the notification bar. This is a very useful feature for long phones like this. Next, we can even browse pictures. Once you enable this toggle, you can use the fingerprint scanner to switch between the previous and next images in the default gallery application by swiping left or right on the fingerprint scanner. Finally, we can answer calls and stop alarms using the fingerprint scanner. All you need to do is just enable this toggle. Once again, it might not seem like much, but these features can be very handy in situations where you can't see the screen. Next, we have some motion controls. Let's start with double tap to wake and sleep. Once you enable this toggle, we can wake up your device by simply double tapping the screen. So when the display is locked and the screen is blank, simply double tap it to wake, and when you're in the lock screen, you can double tap the screen once again in an empty area and it will go back to sleep. This can be quite useful sometimes. Next, we have long screenshot. You can take a normal screenshot by using the volume down and power buttons or by using the screenshot toggle. Now once you got a screenshot, you can select the scroll shot option to take a long screenshot. Once again, very few brands offer this feature. Next, we have a feature called 3-finger screenshot. Once you enable this toggle, we can take screenshots by simply swiping down with 3 fingers. This is one of my favorite features on this phone. Next, we have the option to flip to mute. Once you enable this toggle, you can flip the phone for incoming calls, alarms and timers. Once again, a very useful feature. Next, we have the ultra power saving mode. Once you enable it, apart from the selected 8 applications, all the apps running in the background will be killed and stopped from running. Because of that, you will see a significant improvement in battery life. Unlike other phones, on this phone, you can choose any app to use in this mode, and we can also use Wi-Fi and mobile data in this mode. which is once again a great thing. Next we have the smart resolution mode. If you don't want to use the battery saver mode or the ultra power saver mode and still want to improve battery life, you can enable smart resolution. Once you enable it, it will change the resolution of the screen depending on the task you're doing. For regular tasks like calls and messages, screen resolution goes down, and for games and videos, screen resolution goes up, and thereby improving the battery life. Next we have the one-handed mode. This phone is fairly small in terms of form factor. It can easily fit in a single hand, but using it single-handedly is a completely different story. So in case if you want to use it in a single hand, you can enable this feature called one-handed mode using this toggle and swipe left or right on the navigation bar. Now you can use your phone single-handedly, and once you're done, you can click the blank area to make it large. Next we have a screen recorder built into the phone. You can access it from the notification toggles or by using a quick shortcut. You can press the volume up and power button both at the same time to start or stop video recording. All the videos will be saved at the same place where you can find the screenshots. Next we have scheduled power on and power off. I don't know who needs it, but we have the option to automatically power on the phone and power it off using these settings. Next we have the navigation dock. It's a floating bubble just like the iPhone with some quick gestures. You can touch it to go back, touch and hold and swipe left or right for recent apps, and you can simply swipe it or simply drag on it to move it around. We can use it individually or along with the navigation bar. Personally, I would go with the Pi control instead. Next we have a mode called Eye Comfort mode in display settings. Once you enable it, it puts a warm tint on the screen to protect your eyes at night. We can also enable it automatically based on time and even change the intensity of the tint. Next we have an app lock built into the system. As it is built into the system, it is more secure than third-party app locks. We can set a different password for app lock and also choose to unlock locked applications using the fingerprint scanner. Next we have File Safe, which is like a vault where we can hide files on your phone. Once again we can use a different password and even unlock the file safe using the fingerprint scanner. It's built into the system so it's more secure, but it lacks features. Personally I use Gallery Vault. Next we have Ride mode. Once you enable this feature, you just get two options. One is to make calls and another one is to send an SOS signal. Basically you're restricting yourself from making any actions while driving. You can also set up auto answer by text and even track your ride. On the whole, a pretty interesting feature. Next we have simple mode. Now if this phone is going to be used by some elderly people, then simply enable this simple mode and everything on your phone becomes enlarged. You have large icons for apps, even the text is enlarged to make it easily visible for elderly people. Once again, not a feature for everyone, but might come in handy for some people. Next we have Game Suit. Now this is more like an automation application. Now using this particular feature, we can set up interrupts. Like when you are gaming, if you don't want to be interrupted, you can configure it from here. Next we also have different power profiles like smart mode, gaming mode and power saving mode. So based on your preference, you can change these settings and get a better gaming experience and even save some battery. Now these are just the features that are currently available. We still have more to come, like the party mode, which allows you to play the same song from up to 8 Honor devices once they are paired together. We also have real-time audio monitoring, which allows you to monitor your own audio in real time. Next we also have dual Bluetooth, which will allow you to use two Bluetooth devices at the same time. Now these few features will be rolling out with a future update. So guys, those were the best features. Now let's look at the tips and tricks. First, I'll show you how to display the battery percentage and network usage on the status bar. Now for that, go to settings, then select app and notification, and from here select the last option. Now from here, if you want to display the network speed, enable this toggle. Next, if you want to display the battery percentage, use these settings. I like to go with this. Now we can see the battery percentage and network usage on the status bar. It also has another toggle over here for pulse notification. That's for the LED notification light. So if you want to use it, enable this toggle, and if you don't like to use it, disable it. Next, if you want your phone to light up every time you get a notification, enable this toggle, and if you don't, disable it. Now, if you go back, we have this option for default apps. From here, you can change your default launcher, default messaging app, default gallery application, and so on. So if you want to change your default home launcher to something like a Nova launcher on this phone, you need to come over here. From here, you can change that. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If I missed out on anything important, do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It really helps it. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and I'll try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech signing off. Have a nice day.